So first things first, how does it feel to be back? Obviously, you took a little time away. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Obviously, I like when watching the games from home. All I wanted to do was start playing again. So yeah, I couldn't wait for this. So I'm just happy to be back and ready to play.
What were you getting up to during your time off? Obviously, you had a little bit of time away from the game. What were you getting up to during that time?
Nothing in particular. Like mainly just this basic stuff, like taking care of myself. Working out, like moving. Every day. Like eating vegetables. Like all this boring stuff. Your parents tells you when you're 10. So. Yeah, I just had to sort my life a little bit.
Yeah. Understandable. Were you keeping a close eye on the team while you were away? Were you watching games, keeping up with the results, or trying to disconnect a bit from CS?
In the beginning, I disconnected fully. Like I removed all social media and all this stuff. I just I didn't want to see anything. But then after a while, I started watching some of the games, and I watched the results obviously, and I spoke with some of the players with DGL, and I was in the loop a little bit, what was going on, but. And I didn't put that much energy on it.
Yeah. Of course, need to take some time, obviously, to rest.
Yeah.
During the period off, you missed the last ever CSGO major.
Sad.
Was that tough?
Yeah, it was a bit tough, but still, of course, it would be sick to play the last major, but it is how it is, and there will be more majors in CS too.
Okay, looking forwards then. That's probably the right idea.
Yeah.
So you've come back into the team to take up the in-game leadership role. Was that something you were keen to do? Did you want to kind of get back into leading and calling?
Yeah, I was always open for it. I mean, I was open for it for sure, and even if I would not be the IGL, I was open for that as well. I just wanted to play again, and yeah, it's good how this is. I like it.
Yeah. Are you leading the team? Whose decision was it for you to come back as a caller rather than as just a player? Was that something from you? Was that something from the team? Or is it just how it worked out as it were?
I think that's just how it worked out. It was Jonas, the guy behind the scenes. It was his decision, so I just said I was open for it, and then he made the decisions.
Mm-hmm. Were you surprised at all to be replacing Aleksib? Obviously, you spoke quite highly of him when he first joined the team. You said he was a good in-game leader, and you didn't know why G2 didn't want him. Were you surprised at all that you were going to be kind of replacing him, as it were, on the team?
I guess a little bit, but also I don't know, it didn't go so well for NIP, so I guess they had to do some change, and yeah, it's up to Jonas, and Jonas made this decision, and I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, of course. You have a reputation for being a caller, who's on the kind of looser side of things, versus obviously the person you're replacing, Aleksib, is known for being a bit more strict,
yeah.
A bit more. Is that a fair thing to say about your style of calling? Do you consider yourself a loose caller, whatever that means?
I guess. I mean, I don't really care what people say about my style. I play and I try to win the games. Sometimes it's loose, sometimes it's not. I mean, people like to talk a lot, and yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's loose and sometimes it's very strict. So yeah, I'm a mix of both.
Game to game type of thing. Yeah.
Or round to round.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw obviously you've had a couple of officials back for the Gamers 8 qualifier, and you were balling out, to be honest. You were having some great games, topping the scoreboards. How are you feeling personally in your play?
Personally, I feel good. Obviously before the season started, I played a lot of facets and deathmatch, things like this, just playing the game. So I don't feel off, fully with my aim and things like this. The only thing is I haven't called for a long time, right? And also I haven't spoken English in 6 months now when I've been away. So I have to get used to speaking English and get used to calling, and then get used to calling in English. So it's been a lot. So my head, at the end of the day, for practice, my head is very sauce, But I'm getting better day by day, and I think this event is very good for us because it's a lot of best of threes, and there's we play one game, then there's an off day, so we have time to prac, and it's a very weird format in my opinion. I would rather just have game, Yeah. But now we're here for a long time, and we have time to prac, and I have time to improve the English.
Yeah, is that something you're kind of looking at this event as a perfect opportunity to do? Almost use it like a bit of a boot camp, a bit more pressure because there's obviously official games, but are you seeing it as we're trying to work the team up into form at this event?
I would say so. I mean, even if we lose, we go to the last chance thing, and if we lose that, we go to the showdown, right? So you can't really lose, I feel like. So it's it's just we're here and gonna play some games and try to be ready for Cologne.
Yeah. How have you found playing with k0nfig? Obviously, he wasn't in the team like when you left. How have you found coming into the team with him as part of the roster?
It's very nice. I like it a lot. Like I've always thought he was a super good player when playing against him, and I think like I never had a player with that much balls in game. So it's nice to not maybe have the biggest balls anymore. So have someone else to I can just send him and then I go after him. I don't have to go first every time. So that's nice. I'm just happy to have him.
And how is the team shaping up in general? Do you think you've got a good fit of roles, a good mix of positions and kind of strengths? Like how is the team overall shaping up in your eyes?
I think it's good. Like we some of the guys have some new roles, but I think it's good. Like. Everyone is like fully committed to what they're supposed to do now, and even if one has some bad role, like he's gonna fully commit to that role, so someone has to do it right. Yeah, of course. So it looks good. It feels good.
When you're thinking about like who's taking up what roles, is that something you decide as a team? Do you make the call as the leader? Does DJL, for example, make the call as the coach? How does that kind of come about for you?
This time we did. Me and DJL spoke about it. And then we spoke with the player, like we said, like me and him, like this player should be this role, and then we talked to the player, like, are you okay with doing it? Will you commit to it? Like, will you do it like full-hearted? Like, if not, then you're not gonna do it, right? So, we did it that way, and I think it was the best way.
Yeah, of course. What are the goals for NIP for this season? Do you have any kind of strict goals, like targets, anything like that, or what is the thought within the team?
Not particularly for this season. I think the goal is, to be as ready as possible for the major in Copenhagen next year. So we will see what happens this season. We haven't really talked about like a goal for this season, right? We just want to improve every day, every tournament. So. Yeah, the goal is, I guess, to be ready for the Copenhagen major.
Yeah. Does it make it hard to plan and to kind of prepare for a season when it's like CS2's coming at some point? We're not exactly sure when. Does that kind of make it weird for you guys as a team?
Yeah, a little bit. It's super weird. Like they didn't announce anything, right? Like maybe like tomorrow it will be CS2. No one knows, So like, but I'm not really thinking about it that much. Like now it's CSGO, so we're focusing on CSGO and. When CS2 comes, we will take that then.
Yeah. Do you guys do any like thinking or planning about CS2, like thinking about the smokes, or is that just wait until the game is released?
Yeah, we were gonna wait. But now we're playing CSGO and we want to win the tournaments that are left. I only won the IM Fall in CSGO and that was only Europe or European teams, right? So I wanna win, win a tournament on stage, for once.
Yeah, an international one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we've said that you don't really, or that the Blast format is a little bit weird. Are you aiming to qualify now so that you don't have to play in kind of the later stages, or does it really not matter?
Of course we want to qualify. Like if we qualify, you don't have to play this extra showdown and all this stuff, And of course we want to qualify for. I guess it's Royal Arenas. It's always, and that's a sick arena to play in. I only lost in there though, but hopefully we can qualify and win some games there now.
Yeah, of course. Those were all the questions I had. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it, Hampus.
Thank you, man.
Cheers.